And first, please welcome our guests, Smayah from Rwanda.
Hello, welcome to Rwanda. Welcome to Rwanda, everybody, and I'm so excited to be with
Thank
you
you.
and share with you a little bit about Rwandan coffee. Actually, everything you need to know about Rwandan coffee. But the most important thing you should know is that it's one of the finest and tastiest coffee in the world. My name is Smayah Uwajeneza, guys. That's my name. And as I said before, I'm so excited to be with you here. These are some of the pictures that I took with the farmers, everything that happens here. Um, but I will start by telling you how coffee got into Rwanda. It was brought by German missionaries around 1904. When the Belgian missionaries came by as well, continue to produce the coffee and force Rwandan population to remove everything that they had in their farms and starting to grow coffee. However much that wasn't something that was being emphasized on, but they were looking more about the quantity and all the coffees that was being grown here was taken to Europe countries. So literally, there's no coffee drinking culture that we have in Rwanda, but currently we have one because this is why I'm here. And currently we have about 400,000 of farmers in general, and they're all smallholder farmers, and we have around 200 and something of co-ops, cooperatives. Started when the government, together with USAID and other international organizations, started now to train these coffee farmers how to improve their quality by giving them the best agriculture practices, training programs, but also allowing them to have and also support them to have equipment at the washing station so that they can be able to improve their quality when it comes to processing and before the beans get to the roaster and get to the buyers. After a few decades, when Rwandan citizens were just drinking very bad coffee, low-graded coffee that couldn't be exported, as I said, the government now started a new system of processing almost 95% of all the coffees that we produce here are all red bourbon varieties, and most of it are all fully washed. That was the only process that could really allow us to be able to quality control our coffee and taste with no influence of the honey, of the mucilage being ground with the beans, or processing our coffee naturally. So the government really emphasized on processing all the coffee beans fully washed, and now promoting the education at the farm level, and now currently education at the barista level, who are the people who are actually serving the coffee. And the roasting part is still a challenge because, and I think that is one of the most challenging part that we have in the region, East Africa or Africa in general. The roasting facilities are very expensive to have, but we currently have around 3 roasteries in Rwanda. But the most exciting part of it is that the farmers are capable of roasting their own beans using the clay pot. So most of the farmers have learned how to roast their own coffee and how to brew coffee at home, roasting with a clay pot on the firewood and using a wooden spoon to spin up. And then how they're now brewing their coffee at home is that they're just using the little hand grinder, traditional hand grinder that you have like a stake and a wooden thing, and then you use to crush the beans. And then after that, they just brew the coffee using 2 cups and 1 spoon by putting some coffee grounds in the coffee cup, and then they add water, they wet, and then they strain over the other cup. That's basically how we're trying to promote the local consumption, which I think is it's the only way for us to really understand what the buyers are looking for in our coffee, and how we will be able to develop that love and passion because we drink it. We enjoy the beauty that we saw. Myself, I'm still figuring out how to replicate, to help the farmers being able to replicate, to be able to be consistent, if I may say, to be able to note everything that happens so that they can continue to replicate and they can be able to teach other fellow coffee farmers how to do the same thing. A little bit about how the coffee is being produced and planted is that a part of the best agricultural practices, we grow Arabica red bourbon. 99% is that variety, and then when we're planting, we always draw lines on the soil that is already fertilized. And as you can see, between one bean and another, we always leave 5 centimeters that we always measure with a pinky finger. That's what the farmers do to allow the beans to grow a little bit separately and to grow roots nicely. And so after that, they will top up the soil. So that's what we do. That's how we plant the coffee beans. And then I don't know if you're all familiar with the parchment. They always have like a line, and that line has to be the one facing in the ground to allow the roots to come out easily. So within 3 months, we always have like a little coffee tree. It looks like that. And what we do is to remove it from the actual farm that we planted, we did seedling in, and we put it in this traditional banana tree leaf, because we are trying to be environmental friendly and not using the plastic bags. So that is is going to be planted. The coffee tree will be planted within it, because at the end of the day, it's going to decompose. Period of, or before we get to this stage of getting such amazing coffee cherries, what happens is that it really takes 3 years to be able to receive these amazing cherries. But in between, there's a lot of work that the farmers do, be bending the coffee tree to regrow different branches, be fertilizing it, be pesticiding it with their natural pesticide that they do with the pepper, and then tobacco leaves. They mash it with water, and the flesh out of that combination is the one that they spray over the coffee tree, and that allows the coffee cherries to come up with their natural flavors. And then after 3 years, what happens is that we really pay attention on when on picking the ripe cherry, which makes Rwandan coffee one of the fruitiest and one of the best coffees that we really pay attention to little details. As you can see, a coffee farmer, we provide most of the programs here, like Sustainable Growers and Question Coffee, they provide bracelets, because as they do hand picking from the tree, they will always remember which color to pick. And it's also written on the bracelets as well. And this is where the magic happens, because as most of you know, that once you harvest under-wrapped cherry, they're just gonna be nuts in your roastery. And you also don't want to pick up overwrapped cherry, because they're going to bring in that overwrapped fermented flavors into your coffee. And it will also be hard when the farmers are processing the coffee cherries, because they always float over. So after that, this is what happens. They transport the cherries in the basket from the farms to the washing station. This is where the hard work happens, to be honest. And the cherries has to be at the washing station at least within 8 hours. They have to start processing those cherries. And sometimes, because of the transportation means that is not there, or lack of transportation means, that's when the quality now starts to be affected, because they're going to take more than 12 hours walking by foot and carrying lots of coffee cherries on their heads. Sometimes it rains on them, as it is now. So there's a lot of challenges that happens throughout the process. That's why we always have to come together, support them, and making sure that they feel so strengthened and motivated to overcome such challenges. But then after that, they will sort these cherries. Some of the cherries come out, and they have to resort them to ensure they all have a red color and they're all well ripened. Next slide. And then after that, they will start processing. Some of the co-ops or cooperatives, do amazing job by providing or producing specifically some of the other honey processed or natural processed, but that also depends on the agreement that they get to have with the buyers. Like, for example, if you come over and you tell some of the co-op, I really need some honey processed coffee, they can do that. But most of the production that is being done, they're all fully washed coffees, and that's how they dry the beans. And when it's the nighttime, they kind of cover it with a tent. And yeah, that's it. That's how we dry the beans on the drying beds. And before even getting the coffees in the store, we always have to wait for the coffee beans. These are called parchments. The farmers, most of them have like moisture meter of which they weigh, or they weigh how much, how dense their parchments are, and the standard is they will dry the beans or the parchments until they get 13% of the moisture content, and after that they will do resorting to ensure that nothing came through as they were drying, or nothing that they left out as they were drying, as they were processing. So after this stage, the coffee is taken to the storage, and once they get a buyer, that's when they only meal the coffee, the parchments, and get the green beans. So for you, for the people who don't know about mealing, is the process of taking that the perch out of the to get the green bean inside. So, and after milling, the process, the sorting continues. Sorting is a very key in a production procedures. So we hand sort. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it when somebody's drinking your coffee and tells you it's an amazing and it's a fine, tasty coffee. So after that, after that, what the next thing, as I tell you guys, it's about roasting. This is where now a roaster has to embrace the work of the farmers through the art and craft of roasting. And as a people from the origin, we roasted in a clay pot because that is the most affordable roaster that we have. But we also have advanced roasteries around the city. Um, and yeah, I think this part I'll leave it to the champ to tell more about it. Thank you very much. About the taste, I will talk more about the taste once we start brewing and drinking coffee, because then that will make more sense as we talk about the Rwandan flavor profile.
Great, thank you so much. And the next we will have our next guest from Russia. And today we're not going to talk about the bears or the vodka. So please welcome.
Really, really interesting introduce from Smayah to Rwandan coffee. It's really interesting for me too, because I never was in Rwanda, but I really like this coffee. Various presentation. I want to see coffee. I want to see coffee.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Really interesting. My dream is once time fly to Rwanda and how you grow coffee, how you do processing. To be honestly, I want to tell about how I can roasting coffee, but each process inside the bean, we do by roaster. I will brew coffee from Rwanda, from station Kamoni, natural process. Yes, I work with coffee last 15 years. I start when I was really young boy, and I working like barista. And after this, I prepared 32 times in different kind of coffee championship. And after last 5 or 6 years, I tried to win my main prize. You can see my best trophy. Now I have my own brand coffee Gravitas. It's really interesting, and I try to use interesting coffee from Africa, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Tanzania, Kenya, and because I think African coffee it's the best. Do you like coffee from Rwanda? For good
Yeah.
roasting Rwandan coffee, I use low energy for start because its coffee in this coffee contained a lot of sugar, and I'm start each process inside the beans. I need to start with low energy, and after this, I roasting. I do more power, energy, more gas, and this coffee good sweet to each process for brewing Aeropress, like espresso.
Tell us more about your roasting secret, how to be a world champion.
My general secret, it's you need to stay better each day by day. You need to little bit grow, and never stop. And of course, at the championship, really important. Don't have any mistake. Who don't have mistake will be win always.
We learn about Rwandan coffee. At the same time, we have a chance to brew coffee together. So, who has
Yes.
coffee ready?
My favorite process, it's Aeropress. Last 8 years, I always drink. I always brew Aeropress. For our Zoom party, I bought new one because my old one is.
Wonderful. I'm excited. I started grinding my coffee because it takes quite a while to get done. But so my recipe is that we're gonna. Do you all have Aeropress? Or if you do not have today, you can just take a pen and write it down. It's we're going to we're going to use Rwandan coffee, but you can use any other coffee. I'm sure I'll get all amazing feedback that it's going. I mean, it's been working with a lot of different coffees in the world. That's the most exciting part. But we're going to use 28 grams of coffee, ground fine to medium, and then we're gonna use 280 ml of water. But if you don't have a kettle that shows how hot your water is, it's okay. You can use any boiled water, and then the secret will be to let your coffee cool down before you start drinking it, because then that's where the magic happens. And then we can go ahead. I will share with you guys, and then we're going to be using inverted style. That means brewing coffee in an aeropress like this, while the aeropress is set like this. I'll show you guys as soon as we start. Yeah, and then we'll brew in 2.5 minutes. We'll start drinking our coffee. Do you all have a scale? No? I'll run. I'm also brewing Rwandan coffee from the west, guys. So I'm ready whenever you guys are ready. Okay, shall we? Shall we start?
Yes.
All right. Everyone, you're going to get your filter, your pepper filter, and just prepare it. Have it placed in your therapist cap, and then you will have to rinse it with hot water. Make sure well.
Smayah, I have one question. I have a Aeropress Go, which is a portable one, the smaller one. Can I adjust this recipe also for the smaller version, the
Yeah,
portable version?
I didn't know Aeropress comes in two sizes. Adjust the recipe and see how it goes. So we're going to take our Aeropress and make it inverted like this. Mine doesn't have the numbers, but if yours have numbers, make sure that this piston gets to 4, number 4.
You're so colorful and beautiful.
I
We're
got this from Australia. Well, and then after that, place it on your scale. I guess I'm
okay.
gonna have to stand up because I'm
It's
short.
gonna be messy. We are doing this on the table, close to the computer, guys. Be
Okay,
careful.
okay. So after that, we have to rinse our Aeropress. Always preheat your Aeropress and then put it back on the scale, tear to 0, and then get your coffee, smell the grounds before you start brewing. It's always good. And then you can use this to get coffee, right? 28 grams today, and just give it a little shake to level the grounds. And get your water close. It's time to brew. We will start the timer as we start pouring water. Let's go. And ensure you pour on all the grounds. First, we will pour 80 ml of water, and then we stop. Of water, we will stop and let the coffee bloom. Because as the coffee is being roasted, it develops a lot of carbon dioxide. Maybe the champ can tell a little bit about it. But so we leave it for 30 seconds to bloom, and after 30 seconds, we put more water. We're going to only pour 200 ml of water in the air. I like to circle it around so that I can be able to reach all the grounds. And then once it's almost full, you stop getting it around. Then once you pour, make sure you put 200 ml. After putting, take your spoon or your star, give it a little stir, a gentle stir 3 times, and then stop. After that, remember we rinsed the pepper and we're going to attach it on the Aeropress to ensure we're not losing any of the aroma. And then we'll wait until we hit 1 minute and a half. We will start pressing it down. Don't press your Aeropress on the scale because you might break it. And now, time you can dance, you can go, and you have 30 seconds to do what you want, or you get excited about the coffee you're going to drink. All right, let's go. So take your cup and do like this. Flip it over. And then we're going to press the Aeropress down. And make sure you press slowly to allow the coffee to extract a little bit more. Press it down until you get that hissing sound. Perfect. I haven't got mine yet, so I will press it down. Yes, I got it. And then don't remove the Aeropress. Let it to allow the final drips to drip through. After that, we check. And then the next thing, remember, I do bypass, which means I add a little bit of water, which is 80 grams to have 200 ml grams in total. And then after getting my 80 grams, I stir again to mix all the flavors. And now, look how fast we just made our coffee. Oh my God. And now we can have a conversation. Perfect. Everyone.
Thank you, very
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
But I'll tell you what, the secret of my recipe is that the coffee gets even better and sweeter when you let it cool a little bit. That's why you didn't see me sipping. However,
I cannot wait.
me too, but I can be getting some aroma.
Yeah, Valentino likes it so much. Be careful.
Oh my God, it's really amazing.
You guys enjoy your coffee. Happy Saturday. And
Cheers. So let's talk about coffee, Rwanda coffee.
okay.
Arsenij, what's your opinion about Rwanda coffee if you compare with the other? When you roast them, do you have different profile for it?
Yes, I have a lot of profiles, different profile for African coffee, but Rwanda's coffee a little bit um, natural process around the coffee a little bit different than, for example, Ethiopian coffee. And sometimes I'm look for new interesting thing for this coffee. I think I should roast this coffee lighter for this recipe because in this recipe a lot of coffee. And I should a bit lighter roasting my coffee. I first try London natural process coffee. Not really long time ago, maybe 2 years ago. It's in Rwanda when you start process natural coffee. Yes,
Valentina, you roast the coffee for a few days, maybe?
Hello to all of you.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Hello.
Hello. I roasted on August in Puglia, in the south of Italy, in a roastery.
Was it fun?
Yes, very fun. Very, very, very fun. Maybe less for the roaster and more for me, but it was very fun.
Cheers, everyone. Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Rishi and I'm from India. I work as a roaster with a specialty brand called Third Wave Coffee Roasters. So this is our big boy, ProBat 25 kg. This is the coffee storing section. We have some different coffees. Like right now we are sourcing from different 10 estates. Here. This is a small storing area for the coffee. This is our office actually, slightly messed up right now. That's the cupping area. This is the cupping area.
Thanks for sharing. How's the market, like especially coffee market in India?
Yeah, like it's still growing right now. Many more people are getting interested in specialty coffee mostly. Many more roasters are opening in India. People are now getting more educated. Most of the people, you know that India is not a coffee country. Like around population of India is like 1.30 crores, but more than 100 crore people drink tea here. So it's a tea country, but now people are actually converting in coffee. So they are actually more interested about coffee. Last year I participated in nationals, but I ended up in top 6. Couldn't make it for World Barista Championship.
You have to stay in the coffee industry 16 years. Arsenij, are you in a roastery now?
Yes, I'm a roastery.
Do you
I
want to
can
show us around your roastery?
It's I am.
That's your brother?
It's my brother. It's my coffee machine and other thing. Here is little storage for internet for web shop, map of Moscow. And my small one, it's from Korea Stronghold S7 for internet. My small one, 5 kg Dietrich. And my big one, it's Probaton 60. It's packages. And today holiday. Small storage for Moscow is big. Yes, here is coffee. Where is at the street? At the street. I have coffee too.
Wow.
Always, everywhere. I have coffee everywhere. At the second.
We can help you to drink your coffee. So everybody, next time you're in Russia, Moscow, find this guy and get his coffee. And we'll see everyone next time.
Yeah.